Yo, we back for another episode of Fatherhood Fraternity podcast.
Yeah.
DJ Duro here, aka your favorite. I have my brother here with me.
I'm Strick. What's going on, everybody? How the people doing?
Jay's actually in the barbershop right here with us. He's doing his job. We ain't about to rush him or nothing. We'll make sure he gets a chance to introduce where we are. But we are in Different Strokes Barber Studio in Gahanna, in G-Town.
Yeah.
Come holler at us, and if you need a cut, you know, it's the we got the right people for you.
Jay still cutting right now as we speak. So
Yeah, we're not trying to stop you from doing your job.
Yeah. Gotta get it going then.
Check. Yeah, we good.
We're here 417 Ackley Road, Different Strokes Barber Studio. First check, Jeremiah.
Got somebody clean in there.
Right.
We back for another episode. As you can see on the title, today's show is about handling conflict. And as fathers, this podcast is for fathers by fathers. We try to make sure that we have conversations that are real in the heart of the community, which we call the barbershop, because this is where we can like let loose, talk crazy, have a couple drinks as we are having on this show this time.
So celebrate a little bit.
You know, we 6 months into this, so I thought while I was at the store, might as well get a couple brews.
Yeah.
Hey, my brother, IPA or something.
See what we got, Jay.
So you can have a drink or a celebratory drink.
Don't give me no summer shandies.
Nah, I didn't even bring one of them. That's IPA.
Goose Parker Porter.
Would you rather feel better with the bottle or with it?
Yeah, he looking at the
That's
can
too
like.
many choices, man. I'm confused.
He looking at the can here.
Let me see what you got over there.
So this
Right
is how we getting down. We're just trying to have a celebratory drink. Y'all might hear how we change within the next 45 minutes, but we're gonna start off real studious.
Right.
Jay, introduce yourself.
Jeremiah.
That's it.
1/7 of all my different strokes.
And Jay and his son Ben had such a wonderful moment last time. I hope that y'all got to check that out.
Man, that was cool.
And hearing a son speak of his father so highly, I was impressed. I was jealous. I was like, let me have a son next week so I can have somebody talk about me like that.
Hopefully he will talk about you like that, though. That's the thing.
You don't even understand, man. That was such a blessing to me, man. Because I know my son is mature, but to hear him say those things, like that warmed my heart up. Man, we listened to it the very next day, and my wife listened to it. Man.
That's beautiful,
It was that
man.
much of a blessing to us, man. I'm so proud of my son for that.
Yeah, man.
And really thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak like that.
That's just that.
I think we should do
I can't.
more of it.
I can't take nothing from that. That's nothing but God and timing.
I think we should do more of it.
Yeah.
I think brothers should get on, brothers should get on with their fathers, get on with their grandfathers, get on with their sons.
That would be dope. We can definitely. I mean, this is mobile than the mug, so we can definitely meet people where they at. So, if you have a father that you would like to talk about or talk to, anybody that's listening, if you think that your father would be a great person for us to interview, and you want to have a one-on-one talk, and we come through, let us know. Hit us up, fatherhoodfraternity@gmail.com. I do have the email that y'all can holler at us on. Send us questions.
This will turn into the Jerry Springer show. Boy, I never knew about you. Your mother never told me.
Dad, you was never there for me. Well, I was working. What you think?
I mean, but it's real life. You can bring them into the barbershop. We can get them cut. Get them relaxed. Give them a brew, and then we can come talk. You know what I'm saying? It would be a full experience in this month. But
Man, this is beautiful. Honestly, not to cut us short,
That's
but
cool.
man, just thinking about just having a little drink.
fries over here. That looks
Hey
so
man,
good.
I had some Subway, man. I'm about to try to get right again, man. But it feels good just have a drink with my fellas, man. It's been a while.
yeah, I just felt like it was perfect time for that. Cheers, my brother. Clink, clink. Maybach music. But it's one of those weeks. The weather is nice. I'm like, man, let's at least have some fun real quick. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about conflict. Let's recap on a couple of things. So there is a subject that I did want to talk about and bring up, since we are men of age and we're having a drink. Just to break the ice, Norm, what is your vice? Like, is it drinking? Do you smoke? Do you have edibles? Like, I know this is a little bit deep, but this is stuff that just to
Let's go there.
I'm saying, like,
what it is? We don't get to talk about this. And everybody's
like,
so
we don't really
scared.
and we're not even going to talk about it like in a negative way. Like we men,
Right. Right.
I got a story to tell. That's why I'll just bring y'all into it first.
Can't wait.
I mean,
You gotta say the best
it's
last with that
it's
one.
not one of them. Nah, it's not one of Jay's stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Dill came in with a six-pack. Like, hey, I didn't even talk to y'all.
Talk to y'all, hey, real deal. 6-pack ready. Ready to talk about edibles. We about to go down today.
Nah, but what's your thing?
So me, it used to be drinking, and I would smoke, here and there. But honestly, lately, man, it's been more smoking, man. I've been a little bit interested in, the effects of smoking. It eased me a little bit. I had real bad anxiety, and I don't want to say depression because I feel like that's so negative, but I was going through a difficult time, the past year.
Right.
And that was something that kind of just calmed my nerves, eased me a little bit. And smoking for me, man, is herbal. It's from the earth. I ain't gonna say God put it here, but hey, it's here for us. Yeah.
He did. We just used it.
Right. You used it how we supposed to use it. Right. But I don't know, man. I just feel like smoking is just one of them things where I enjoy. I used to be trying to get my spirit right. Like I was trying to be too religious to the point of I didn't feel like myself.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to fight all these different things.
There is a conflict when it comes to drinking, smoking, and religion.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when you grow up in religion, you think all those things are bad. Even though I don't see anything in the Bible that says anything about weed,
Whole different conversation.
I don't see it.
you.
But at the same time, it's looked down upon for, I guess, the effects. But for me, smoking is one of the things I enjoy now. I smoke a lot more now. I ain't no super pothead, but I definitely enjoy my moments, And, I don't know. It's good for me. I feel like it's good for people around me. I'm not as tense and tight and uptight, but yeah, man, I prefer. I like to drink a little bit here and there, but I prefer a little jumpy.
Jay, what about you?
Man, so
If you feel comfortable speaking about
I
it.
definitely feel comfortable.
Oh, okay.
So check it out, because as I get older, I do both less.
Okay.
I drink less and I smoke less. I started doing both at 15 years old.
Okay.
And it's like it was a daily thing. You could drink every day, smoke every day, and still be somewhat productive. But as I get older, I have different responsibilities, and it doesn't fit into my regular schedule. Like I work a lot, and then when I'm at home, I'm dad. And so I don't really have time to just be sitting up on the couch fried.
Right.
Like my son is old enough now to where he's aware of what's going on.
He gonna know what's going on.
Yeah.
I still got a 4-year-old, so we can get away with it.
You got time.
Me and my wife gotta go to the room. Hey, go play.
Yeah, you can just watch cartoons with your kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My
It's a whole other scenario.
Yeah, my kids.
He's intelligent.
He want to go places. He want to talk about things. So I can't just really just be fried. I don't have time, honestly, to get high. I don't have time to be drunk. And honestly, on top of that, it affects me differently.
Okay.
Like I said, I could stay up all night, stay out late, and then get up and perform in my 20s. But now that I'm in my 30s, I'm 34. I'll be 35 in July. Now that I'm in my mid-30s, it's like to drink all night and then wake up and work in the morning is torture.
Dude, you can't even do it no more.
Even to smoke. Like if I smoke a lot and then try to function early, like I need time to rest.
That's the thing. You ain't got to do a lot. You just
Smoke a lot, like
yeah, right. You just need a little. Honestly, you just need a little bit just to kind of get off the day. Get home and just chill.
I wish y'all could see Norm's mannerisms.
Hey, man,
Just how he like holding these hot fries and shrugging his shoulders.
Hey, I look like I've been smoking already. Look like I'm already
the edge
been
off.
smoking. No, because I know how it is. Because I wasn't a big smoker before. But
30 years of smoking weed.
right, a lot of people around me have. So I kind of embrace it and just. I stopped fighting it as far as one of the things where God is looking at me like, oh, you're doing so much wrong. I'm like, look, man, my saying lately has been, I love Jesus, but at the same time, I like to smoke and I can drink a little bit. But
You know what's a trip to me? Because I heard you using the word religion.
Mm-hmm.
I look at spirituality more than religion.
Me too.
And I'm my most spiritual when I'm elevated a little bit. That's when I do most of my prayer. Like if I get high, I don't just sit around and just be on the munchies.
Yeah.
I really sit down and reflect on life. I may look at the trees blowing in the wind.
Right.
I may think about my grandparents, or that's when I usually reflect most.
almost like meditating.
And that's why I brought up
True.
religion, because religion is really like, as we see it, the judgmental practices that we have been like programmed to know on how to act. And I think that when the religion comes in, we lose all sense of self a lot, and we're going by that base that people are told that we should be.
Rules that I can do and things that I can't do.
That'll
Whereas
make us go to hell.
spirituality, I feel like that's your communion with relationship. That's what you.
Yeah.
That's when you talk to God.
I've been feeling more of that anyway, more spiritual than religious.
And I think we all should. If you, because we watched Nipsey Hussle's funeral last week, and it was his mother got up and she was saying that she was in a African spiritual science class or something like that. She was taking courses, and
It's called Caress.
that. And so, as she was talking about the things that they practice, when I go and do community events
Right.
with the Black arts community, those are things that we practice.
Right.
You pouring out libations,
Right.
you calling to the ancestors, you evoking spirits, and not no mystical sorcery. But that's really what it is. It's
Some paying
spiritual.
respects to the people that were here before that
Exactly.
who still live through us.
Exactly, and that's a real thing.
That's
And
also
so
like pointing out the drink, man. That's almost, I won't say spiritual, but that's like showing respect, like you said.
that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just, it's been commercialized like, oh, I'm gonna pour out my 40 for my dead homies.
Right.
But really, no, you spill you pour some libations.
Right.
You know what I mean? For those
Because they would be here with us. I would share it with you. So I'm about to pour out you a little bit for you because out of respect. I'm missing my brother. Like, this is what that is. I pour out a little liquor for you.
Exactly.
So, like, mine used to be drinking. Like, I would used to have, like, a bottle with me almost anywhere. It would be a bottle up under my car seat. Like, just ready for wherever I had to be. You know what I'm saying? If it was about to be a party,
Right.
like,
I'll be ready.
Like, nowadays we're at the age where you can just have, like, a fold-out chair and be ready for a jazz concert. Nigga, I was ready for a party
Fold that bottle
anywhere
up.
with the bottle. Like, I'm good. I don't need to go to no store. As I got older, you like them hangovers come through. Like once you hit 30, hangover life is not the life.
Hey, I'm telling you, 30 on the dot.
Yeah, 30.
That next day,
You start feeling like, oh,
And
like,
if you think about what you're saying, like that sounds childish. To ride around with your bottle,
Yep.
to be somewhere drunk,
Yep.
extra in the club, hungover, to be somewhere smoked out 24/7,
Yep.
like that's childish.
Yep.
As you get older, like I'm saying, I got kids, I got a wife, I have real responsibilities, and so I just can't be seen. I don't want to be out at the mall and I got the red eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'll put my shades on.
That's gonna be cool now, though.
Yeah, it used to be cool, but now it's like it's
My
not.
cologne, remember
Yeah,
that?
that's-
Yeah, you
that
don't
ain't
want
it
to come.
no
I don't
more.
want to come in smelling
That
like
definitely
tree.
ain't it.
No.
And smoking never been my thing for real because my mind goes to another level when it comes to smoke. Like I'm on like the highest of highs.
Yeah.
Either I smoke it too hard or it's a little too strong for my beginner lungs or whatever.
Like panic attack.
Because I
That's how I used
used
to
to
feel.
like when I would
tripping. I used to be tripping.
like when I would smoke, like before I try weed, it was like Black and Milds. You know, that's the thing. You drink some brews, you have a Black and Mild, and you fake high or whatever. So I would hit those hard, the Black and Milds. I would hit the weed like it was a Black and Mild. So I would like blow the smoke up and then coming through my nose, and then like just take it all in. Like bro, slow down.
Floating.
Just like nah, I'm cool. That's what I do.
Smoke dog, baby.
Right. Take it easy, Holmes.
Yeah, so I'll be like smacked. So I'm like, smoke for years is never my thing to do. I still don't like smoke. But the weed, when I got introduced to edibles recently,
Man.
it's a totally different thing. And when it comes to parenthood is where I think that it's something to bring on this show is that we all have our stress release. Some people play video games, some people drink, some people smoke, some people have their marijuana or their bass, whatever. Like, if it's stress, I can have a little pinch of a Rice Krispie treat and be smacked by the time Ava's asleep, and then I'm cool. The only thing I really don't like about it is that I'm not as sharp, which is why I wait till she's asleep.
Right.
Or if it's like mommy daddy day and we out on the streets, I give her a little pinch, I have a little pinch, and we out here kicking it.
Right.
Like that's been a real mood settler. And that just like erases the stress. Like it just feels so much more calm.
What you mean?
And then you start having those thought processes, and you don't let stuff get to you. Like, and it's one of those things where we had one of our weekends, I think last week or whatever. We both had like a little corner of the Rice Krispie treat. I had mine because I had a corner before and I got smacked like immediately.
Nah,
So I'm like,
intense.
I'm like, here, you can have a piece. She's like, this ain't gonna be nothing. She took half of that thing. 3 hours later, it was like 3 levels of being smacked. And she was just like, oh, my goodness.
I got the good.
I'm like, I told you, just take a little quarter. She took a whole half of the Rice Krispie treat, and we had chicken, we had pop, we had
y'all had a good time. But it was a good time, though.
Yes.
When you can enjoy that with your woman.
Yeah.
Because my wife was smoke, too. Like, those moments, it's just... You and her just.
I wanted to.
About stuff.
Like, I don't want to feel like I gotta normalize it, but I don't want to seem like I'm too good to find a way to have fun,
right? To
have a drink with my guys, or to have an edible with my wife while we out of town, or have a weekend off. We're not being reckless. We're not doing it while we're driving.
Right. And see, because we talk about God a lot on this show, I will say everything in moderation.
Yes, of course.
Even moderation.
Because I even told my limits. I don't do it while my daughter's awake.
And the fact that you have a set boundary, like not when the kids up, and then if I do only a little piece, I'm not trying to touch the sky.
I'm not trying to
same thing with me.
Gotta be high, man. Like that's just too much.
For real. Yeah. Same thing with me. I drink once a week on Fridays up here.
Yeah, moderation.
And I drink enough to where I can get up and perform Saturday. I try not to drink just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day of the week, because then it starts to show. Right. You start to look like you've been drinking all week.
Start to smell like you've been drinking all week.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, your body don't like that either. You know what I mean? Your body would shut
That's what I was getting ready to say, Norm. For me, it's like health is more important than recreation nowadays. So I used to just get high and drunk just because it ain't nothing else to do.
Yep.
But now it's like, instead of doing those things, I'd rather go walk or run or be outside playing with the kids or do something different. You know what I mean?
Because I really hardly ever drink. Even when I'm DJing, I can get free drinks at any time.
I seen that. You and O Sharp is like that. O Sharp ordered.
I'm like, give me some water. You got me. Yeah. Like I had like 3 or 4 glasses of water throughout the night. It keeps me sharp, and I don't need to be drinking. I'm going to be up until 3:30, 4 o'clock after the whole night is done, and I have to wake up with my daughter at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, because she gonna be ready.
Yeah, she don't care that daddy went.
Yeah, don't care.
Out kicked it. Like I gotta be sharp. So
you seen that commercial where the dad woke up and he was like, "I'm not gonna be able to make it in today," and he was talking to his baby. The baby was sitting in the crib like, "What? I'm not gonna be able to make it today."
Yeah. You don't get no days off.
No days off unless you got the grandparents around. That's the only time. And I just want. I want to. I thought about it. I'm like, man, I don't never want to say I'm holier than thou. I never want to seem like I'm just so above us relaxing and having fun. And I wanted to share. I just wanted to share. I wanted to see what y'all thoughts were about it. Because not saying I wanted y'all to be like, yeah, y'all smoke weed too, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if y'all didn't, that would have been an issue.
We smoke responsibly. We drink. That's the best slogan that's going right now. Drink responsibly.
Yep.
Not don't drink.
Right.
Because that'll be like hypocritical.
Yeah.
But just drink responsibly.
Exactly.
That's one of my biggest, I think one of my biggest fights and battles. I mean, I've fought a lot of different battles, but that was one of them. It's just like, I want to enjoy, I want to be me, but I'm trying to fight this. I'm trying to,
you're not going to hell because you had a drink, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You don't have to worry about that.
But that's what, growing up in the Baptist church, like certain things you just learn, it's like, damn, I'm doing wrong. But it's like, at the same time, like, man, I want to enjoy my life, and at the same time, have a good time. Not that you have to drink or smoke to have a good time, but I'm just saying,
I feel you.
What you like to do, go ahead and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just be responsible, like Jay said, and just find your limits.
This is what me and my dad talk about, because me and my dad will have drinks, but you don't want to be under the influence of the alcohol and not under God's influence.
Right.
You want God to always be on your mind.
Right.
And that's why I say nowadays when I smoke, I can't not think about God first in everything. I'm looking at the blades of grass, I'm looking at the birds flying, and I'm really looking at all of the wonders that God has before me.
It's his whole artwork.
And then we're at the age where we know our limits, and we know where our mind can't go if we drink too much.
Exactly.
Or if we smoke too much, or in the wrong situation while we're doing these things. And I know better now. Like I know that if I'm
getting a little nice.
There's been times where if I drink too much, maybe I will do something that I shouldn't be doing being a married man. Not saying I'm about to be cheating, but there's stuff that there's boundaries.
I mean,
there's responsibility. Yeah, of course.
I drink a lot, and I start dancing. I get good at dancing, and then the next thing you know, I'm on the dance floor cutting the rug, And
the stuff that you don't have those second thoughts like, damn, I shouldn't be doing this.
I shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
the wild.
Dancing is okay. If you dance with somebody else, then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like me, I just get flirtatious. Like
Yeah.
I know me when I
You
drink.
might double tap a photo at 12
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
not something you should be doing while you're
Yeah.
drunk or just period when you have a. And that's where it's like I check myself one time like that too because I have just liked the photo. To me, it was like shit. It's just a
Yeah,
photo.
yeah.
That's what it's made for. But when you put that time stamp on
Right.
it,
When
and
you
then
doing
it's
up at
like,
2 in the morning,
and then
2 a.m.
and then you don't know what they think about when they see that notification. Like,
Would
and
you-
that's where he's like, maybe I shouldn't do that shit.
And that's when you're not under the correct influence.
That's when you're intoxicated with the wrong
That's
thing.
when the alcohol
Yep.
has you.
And that's where we're drinking responsible.
Drink responsibly.
Whatever you do it in responsibility. In moderation, yeah. And that's where I'm glad that we got to that point of it because I wasn't even thinking of it being like a lesson behind that shit.
Yeah, say-
but yeah,
that's a good thing. It always comes back to that. That's what us being more mature now than we were.
It
If
took
we was to
time.
do this at 25. This would be a whole other type of conversation.
Bruh, totally
Us
different.
at 25.
If we do this show on a
Man.
Friday,
Let's go.
We doing this on Monday after Sunday.
Yeah.
We might have went to church yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's totally different.
Yeah, you just gotta know. You gotta know your weakness and know what puts you in that situation that you don't need to be.
And
in.
for the
That's very
women who listen to this, understand that we may have a vice, and we just have to know that we have to be responsible with it.
women have vice too, though.
Of course, they have their
Yeah.
wine, they have their girls' nights, they
Yeah.
have their gossip.
you know,
They got
that's a big thing. Women and wine. I was at Cooper's Hawk. The whole lobby was
Oh, yeah.
all women.
That's-
all of them in there doing a tour, buying bottles of wine.
I got my wife a membership.
Women drink
Yeah.
wine.
They love it.
That's their thing.
Well,
It's a
you know,
different-
alcohol, I mean, like liquor is too hard. Like, you know what I mean? That affects women, the way they look, the way they feel. Like,
Yep.
when you drinking liquor as a 28, 30, 35-year-old woman, you looking a little bit different. Like, all right, now what's going on? I mean, not like birthday.
real.
Ladies, let me clarify.
You gotta cover
Let
it
me,
up.
yeah.
clarify.
I understand, but like, that's what I mean.
We in the
It's like,
barbershop.
Yeah, when you at that age, you
This
drink
barbershop, baby.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. Seeing women drink Hennessy at like 30 plus, I'm like, I don't know. I don't
Will
know.
you be at Moment?
Yeah.
Hey, will you be at Empire?
Yeah, I'm like,
Judgy. They got a double the 80. Like,
Right.
damn,
Hey,
bro. What you doing?
right.
Yo.
Rough day today,
Is that
huh?
for you?
Man,
But I don't know, man. It just, I don't want to go the wrong way, but I know how I
I feel
am.
you know.
I know when I drink too much. That's why I think for a while I was shutting myself down, like intentionally, because I know sometimes if I go out and I drink, like you never know what's going on at home. You might just be like, man, I just want to have a good time. Some young lady might say, oh, you look so nice today, Norm. It's good to see you. That hit you in your head, like, dang, how you been? You know, I don't want to
you
get
buying
there.
her a peach
Man,
Ciroc.
you getting drinks that you don't need
Can
to
you
spend
give
the
me
money
a double
on.
Henny?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Hennessy
yeah,
Black,
right.
please.
Yeah, so
Privilege.
Oh man, but yeah, you just
Crown
gotta
peach.
know your limits, man. Know your limits. Know your weaknesses.
I'm glad that we was able to open up
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
for real with that conversation.
Yeah, man.
But make sure you follow us on Fatherhood Fraternity on IG. We post pictures showing examples of fathers be with their kids, and that's what we want to keep bringing to the media. We appreciate y'all following us and listening to the podcast. If you made it this far, we're gonna get into our topic.
Yeah.
Topic today is about conflict, and even if we just think about what's been in our media timelines for the past 2 weeks with Nipsey, and how his life was taken away over a simple conflict of somebody just wanted to take his life away. Somebody so simple wanted to take his life away. Think about us being fathers, him being a father of two, us being fathers of kids, how we have to deal and handle with conflict now differently than what we would when we're in our 20s or when we had nothing else to live for.
Right.
You know, it ain't nothing to start a fight or to
Right.
to have beef back in the day because it's just
You had
us.
to fight back in the day, though.
Yeah.
Like, you had to really fight. Now these
Yeah.
niggas are shooting.
Like, yeah, now they don't know how to fight, so they
Yeah.
shoot. So it's like we have to figure out how we handle conflict, our conflicts, how we handle conflict in front of our kids, our family, and just them being around. Like, these are things I just want us to discuss very briefly, but I think it's just something that we don't think about as much.
Right.
So, starting off with Jay, how do you handle conflict now differently than what you did before you had kids? Or is there any difference?
Before I had kids, it was totally different. Because the way that I had children, I had my son first, and then I had my daughter. So it's like I got two different sides of conflict resolution. Plus, on top of having a wife prior to both of them. But before all of that, it's like anything that opposed what I was saying, beat it up. You know what I'm saying? Punch it, scratch it, kick it, choke it, beat it up. You know what I mean? I could fix anything. If somebody looking at my woman, beat their ass.
Right.
Somebody disrespecting me, pull over, beat their ass. You know what I mean? Just get out and just beat it up like a caveman.
Right.
And I quickly understood that wasn't the best route. That was going to have me in danger. That'll get you in jail. That'll get you killed.
Yeah.
Trying to go around flexing on whoever, anywhere, by myself, with somebody, whatever. Because I'm the type of person, like, I can go by myself and fight. I don't need to call nobody. I don't need to go to the car. I get down where I get mad at. And so, like, that's a dangerous way of living. That's like a savage way of living.
Right.
You just roaming through the jungle looking for something to pop off, hoping somebody disrespect your wife.
Ready for action.
You know, so after I had kids, it showed me that when my son is doing something incorrect, I can't just beat him. I don't want to. I really care about his well-being. The reason why we having conflict is because I'm looking out for his betterment, right? And so you can't just beat your children into submission. So you have to find better ways to correct them, to I don't want to say reprimand, to better ways to discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So things that I would do to my son was have like heart-to-heart talks. I always reference the Cosby Show. It was the episode where Bill Cosby was sitting on the bed talking to Theo. And Theo had just got his ear pierced. And Cosby knew it. Instead of kicking down the door and talking about the damn ear pierce, he said, "Son, let me talk to you." And he wanted to see the earring. So Theo was looking over here, talking to him, and then next thing you know, he was digging in his ear, and he
then they start leaning
back. Put his hat on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was always something. And I always remember them Cosby Show episodes because it was always a heart-to-heart talk. I'm not mad that you messing up. I'm actually happy that you going through life and learning. But you need to understand, this is how we doing it. This is what I want from you. You speak life into your child versus speaking death into him.
Right.
So if Bill Cosby was just going and beat Theo up because he had an earring, the show would have been over in 5 minutes.
Right.
Bill Cosby don't play no games. Theo got his ass whipped. Show's over. But the goodness of the show was the love that the father had for the son. He even explained it to him like, "Son, I don't, just not now. Like, you got so much going for yourself. Why would you
infected?
Yeah.
They can mess your ear up.
Anything can happen. I love you however you look.
Right.
And so I know that I'm going to have those instances with my son. I'm going to have tattoo conversations with my son.
Yep.
What if my son, I thought about this. What if my son comes home and got a tattoo without asking me? I wouldn't whoop him. I wouldn't beat him.
Because what's that going to
What
change?
is he going to do?
Nothing.
It's still gonna be
I'm going to
there.
beat the
about to beat
tattoo
the tattoo
off
off
of
of
him. I probably could. Beat the skin off him.
I'll beat the black of him.
Beat the black off him. Yo, but for real, I would just sit him down and talk to him. Because I thought about this. I would just have to sit him down and talk to him and say, "Hey, man, that's on your body for the rest of your life now." And just what happened and what changed was that I was able to verbalize better. Instead of talking with my fists, I talk with my words.
I hate following up behind Jay, man. He has so much power, man. But no, seriously.
So, Norm, I'll ask the question again.
No,
how do you handle conflict differently? How did you handle conflict differently than what you would now? Like, before you had kids, before you got married, how were you handling conflict that came to you in your front door?
See, for me, I've always been the same. Like, when it comes to conflict, I was never a big fighter. Like, my homeboys or people used to get into fights, I was always either playing basketball or out the way. So I was never really a fighter like that. We got into a couple scraps here and there, but nothing crazy. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to knock niggas out when I see them.
Right.
For me, I was a little bit more mature. I didn't want to get beat up, number one. Number two, fighting was just one of the things where I felt like, I don't know, I wasn't that aggressive. Like, I wasn't that angry to always be ready to fight and get down with anybody. So for me, handling conflict has always been, you know what, this ain't really what I'm trying to get into. Let me step away, or let me not get involved in this situation as much as I could. Like, I knew some of my dudes growing up, they used to get in fights all the time, but I wasn't trying to be around, so I wouldn't hang out with them.
Right.
And that left me in a conflict or in a situation where I didn't have to resolve conflict in that way. But nowadays, I'll say conflict with my son. He still is young. He's still only 4 years old. But we have started that if somebody hit you, you hit them back kind of deal, which I'm still up in the air on that. So,
Me
like,
too.
if he has conflict where another kid hits him, we're saying, listen, you better hit him and hit him back harder, which isn't really the answer to that type of
No,
conflict.
you're training to kill it.
Right. Because he gonna end up being a fighter like that.
Right.
But it's something my wife has said too, like, hey, if he hits you, you hit him back. You know, instead of, hey, if you go and tell the teacher, what does that look like growing up as a kid?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you looking like a softie, he a snitch, he always telling. So that's
I'll
conflict.
tell my daughter to tell.
Yeah. I mean, that's conflict for a little girl. It's different though.
Why?
Because little girls
Masculinity?
Because there's a double standard.
It is
Yes.
double standard. That's the truth.
Definitely.
But why?
This is how it is.
It ain't gotta be that way.
Not for us. We don't have to. I won't tell my son, hey, man, you a snitch, you a crybaby. Like, it's like, man, listen, I get it. You ain't want to get in trouble. You tell. That's cool. I want him to know that it's all right to be like you and not to try to be this overly aggressive, like the fake definition for masculinity. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to be able to, hey, listen, I don't want to get into this situation. Let me go tell the teacher so I'm cool on this. But he's going to have to deal with that bullying and, being called a tattletale, stuff like that. Like, growing up, remember that? You a tattletale?
Damn, I hate the word
What?
snitch. Snitch rhyme with bitch.
Right.
And man, that snitch.
The thing is, most people is telling
Woo.
those. The ones that's the toughest guys out there, the ones that are out there saying, you a snitch and don't come around here, most of them same dudes are the ones that's been telling. So for me, conflict with my son is going to be more so, let's think smart about this situation. Let's think about how we don't have to get expelled or suspended. You know what I mean? I don't want you to miss school and then you can't graduate. Little stuff like that I've always been playing in my head. But
One thing that I think that we've noticed with not just, of course, within the recent stuff, but just in life, how fragile the male ego is, and how we have matured with our ego as we've had families, and how we don't feed that ego as much. We feed into our families more than we feed into our egos, because we know our biggest accomplishment is our families more than just our egos.
Yep.
And that's something that I think that we have to be aware of, that some people haven't switched.
yeah,
That fragile ego
Yeah.
makes a lot of people act the way that they do, which will in turn harm you or the people around you.
That's the reason why they act that way.
Yes.
Because their ego is fragile.
Yes. And that's where, if you can start with your son, to start with the confidence and not the ego, not saying the ego comes with fighting, but just
that type of aggression and that
because
anger.
that's feeding the ego,
Right.
in my opinion. It just seems like, yeah, I ain't no snitch, I ain't no
Right.
bitch.
Right.
That's the
I'm
ego
tough,
talking.
I'm tough, yeah.
Like that Debo is like male ego.
Right.
Fragile
Steroid.
male ego.
The fact that you're saying fragile is the key to that male
Yes.
ego. Because that's the reason why I was so on it. Is because I didn't have no brothers and sisters. And at the time, I didn't have my dad. So it was just me.
Yep.
Like when I go to school, it's just me getting off the bus. And so I can't be a punk. I can't be a sucker. I can't get bullied.
Right.
If I get bullied, it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My whole, you know how detrimental your reputation is in
Yep.
school. So I can't be anything less than a super thug, right? And so not that I was fronting or portraying anything, but I just wasn't about to be disrespected. I wasn't about to be disrespected at all, to the point where I would fight to the death for it.
Now that, what you're saying does translate into family at times, where if there's something that is harming our family or attacking our family, we are usually the first line of defense, and that same mentality is where we like jump back out. It's not really ego, it's like protection.
But still, that was my fragile male ego.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about myself, is that it's only me. I can't be a punk.
Right.
I hope they don't think I'm a punk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let me make sure that everybody knows that I'm tough.
Right.
All the fights that I got, well, I ain't gonna say all of them because that's a bad assumption. But all of the fights that I got in, like personally, one-on-one, was my fault.
So-
if I fought, it was because of my own insecurity.
Yeah.
And
that's-
I brought that, I spilled that out. I blew up with my own insecurity.
That's the core of a lot of it, and a lot of people don't even see it that way. But all them niggas was hating. Like
they
it's
wasn't
just
hating.
sometimes it
I
ain't
was
that.
stunting.
Right.
Like,
So, yeah.
sometimes
I was
it ain't
stunting
that.
super hard.
Sometimes your choice is whack. Like,
Sometimes they stepped on your toes and you
Right.
just feel bad about it. You felt you had to hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just fight. Like that's where maturity has allowed us to see things a lot differently.
I like what you said, Jay, about like the way you talk to your son, though. Like how before it was ass whooping. For me, man, that was growing up, man. We got our ass whooped, and to this day,
For
like
sport.
dog, I'm talking about like ready. Sometimes I don't even remember what we did. It was just like we got our ass whooped. But I'm the complete opposite of that when it comes to Braxton. And I hear, sometimes like, you still got to discipline. I was like, yeah, he gets disciplined, but I don't plan on beating his ass. And people think, oh, that was just whooping. No, we got beat like on the real. And to this day, like I'm going to therapy now, and we talked about it in therapy, man. And it was like, some of the things could have been anger from maybe when my dad was growing up and having to work and having all these kids, and you know what I mean, and trying to be the best and do what he could. But whatever issues he was dealing with, that came and spilled onto us, which I try not to do to Braxton. If I got issues at work or at home, my wife, or we get working on anything, I don't want that to affect my son.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
I failed my daughter one day, and it was because I let something that happened to me that she didn't do affect how I treated her. And I can be honest about it. I noticed about it one time. I was taking her, I was dropping her off to my mom's. My mom was keeping her for the weekend one time. And it was just like something happened before. And on the drive to taking Ava to meet my mom, I didn't talk to her for like 20 minutes. So she just was like, and me and her talk. I don't play the radio. Me and her talk all the time.
That's tight.
But this time I just was so flustered and fed up and mad, I just didn't talk. And
She's probably like, Daddy.
she was telling me to turn the songs on. She was telling me to play a song. I'm just like in my zone because I'm mad, just driving down the highway. And then the thing that broke me out of that, she was like, Daddy's not talking to me. She said this out loud to herself, like, Daddy's not talking. And then she looked out the window, was like looking sad. I'm like, oh damn,
man.
I just wasted 20 minutes of my life that this could affect her. She's never seen me ignore her before. My ego put myself in front of her when she's always the one who I put in front of myself. And I allow whatever happened to me mess up 20 minutes that we could have had bonding, singing, laughing, joking before she gets dropped off of me because I wasn't going to see her for another 2 or 3 days.
Right.
That would have been her last memory of me
And
for the
you
next.
never know what would have happened.
Exactly.
I think about that a lot.
And I let that, whatever it was, get in the way of my relationship. And that's where it's like, bro, you got to get better. You can't let little stuff like that mess up your time with your loved one.
And that's all. Learn from it and get better.
Yeah.
I only whipped my son twice in his life. And I'm a quote-unquote strict father.
Right.
I only whipped him twice in his life. And both times he know exactly what he did. One, he disrespected his mom. And 2, he stole and lied about it. And I wasn't having any of those. Other than that, it's nothing that we can't talk about.
Right.
So I'm gonna bring up the next part of the question, so we can make sure we hit some of these discussions. So, Norm, I'll ask you this question first. When it comes to conflict in the house, or if there's some issues where, say your son is at school or daycare or something, and they're giving him bad reports, are you the first line of defense for the family, or are you the last word, or are you both?
So I guess it depends on the situation. So at first it's Glenda because she picks him up and drops him off, so they see her more.
Right.
So if there's any issues, they go to her. But for me, you ain't like that one, Jay.
That's a bad. Which one
never
was
had
that?
chocolate
I'm
beer.
glad you got that one.
Yeah.
It do say chocolate on it. My bad. I'm glad I didn't get that.
Yeah, it looked. When you was pointing it out, it looked too dark.
Dog.
Thought it was
It looked like
coffee.
tar.
All right, my bad.
But no, so my wife typically is the first line just because she's there, to pick him up and drop him.
Right.
So for me, I hear the news secondly, and that's how it was for growing up for me. Wait till your daddy get home.
Right.
Wait till your daddy get home, and I just be sick. Like, damn, he gonna beat my ass, man. I don't even want to deal with this. But now, it's times where we get the report at the same time.
Yeah.
So we have moments where we go pick them up. They have family day. We'll go pick them up, and this one teacher always has. She's like, I love your son. I love his stankness, but he just a rough day today. And I'm always like, what is he doing? And you're the only teacher that's giving me this negative side. Like, is it something you're doing?
Right.
So for me, I try to talk to him about what happened at school. And I do what you kind of promoted last month or almost 2 months ago now, about asking him questions like, what made you happy? What made you sad? That has changed.
Instead of just asking how was your day? Like, ask them other questions that provoke real answers.
That's changed the way he communicates so much since I started that. Like, hey, man, what made you happy today? Oh, we went outside and I got to play this. I said, what made you sad? Well, they told me I couldn't do this when I really wanted to do this. So, stuff like that has given us an opportunity to talk more.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to that, I'm usually the second line of defense, and I have traits of my father, and I try not to show them.
Mm-hmm.
But like certain things, even like yelling, and I think that's something that's detrimental to relationships too. Like my dad used to yell as well, and I try to catch myself with Braxton when he do something. It's like, hey boy, what are you in there doing? And it's just like, damn, he a kid. Like he's still 4 years old. I got to keep telling myself that he's not a grown man.
At the sound of your voice.
Hey, we should. But the thing is, that's a respect thing too. When I call his name, it's yes, daddy. It's not. I don't want to wait around for you to answer. But,
right.
Yeah, man. That second line of defense is not what it used to be. It's not. Wait till your daddy get home. You go beat your ass. It's more like, all right, your daddy get home. I need you to tell him what happened.
Right. And so, Jay, what about you? So the thing I gave him was, if your child is at school and they're getting bad reports, are you the first line of defense where you're like the first one that speaks on their behalf or trying to figure out what the conflict is, or you allow the mother to figure it out, and then if it's serious, do you step in?
Oh, super heavy. My wife is she's really in charge, and I'm like
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I remember in the beginning of this show you was kind of iffy on letting her have the charge on things.
I'm in charge of the family.
Uh-huh.
She's in charge of the kids.
Okay.
So like when it comes to school, she's on it.
Good.
Super on it. Like she is on it. She be at the school like every
PTA
day.
Means she one of them.
She on PTA.
Okay, that's
she's in tune. She knows the teachers, the principals, all of that. They know her. She show up at the school just cause she's on it. So what'll happen is, say if my son, because my daughter's an angel, she's good.
Could be my baby.
Right.
Not my baby.
Not my baby. She ain't doing that. She ain't doing that.
But
Something
my
wrong
son,
with y'all. Right.
Say if something happens to my
Don't
son, like last week is a perfect example. She checks the online progress reports, right? And my son got like,
damn, online progress report now? Woo-hoo.
yeah.
Hey, you gotta be on your
In
got
tune,
apps.
I'm telling you.
I'm just saying,
And while
as
in
a
class,
kid, you
you'll
gotta
get a
be on it.
notification.
Yeah.
So she's checking the thing, and she like, Benjamin, come in here. He come in the kitchen. She like, you got a 3 out of 18 in social studies? So I'm just eating and being good, right? I'm eating my little macaroni noodles.
Right. Make sure you don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I got my head down. I'm looking up, right? I'm like, damn,
Like-
3 out of 18? Woo! I'm trying to figure out how many percent that is.
I was trying to do it too.
Damn. So I'm like, man, boy. And he like, but mom, I didn't. I thought I was trying. And she like shut everything down. And then she pulled out the progress report and like, well, not the progress report, but the assignment. And they went over the assignment like right there on the spot. And she's good about those things because she's much more patient than I am.
That's like a 15%, bro.
That's
I was
terrible.
about to say, you gotta think of 9
Listen, girl, I was putting pepper on my macaroni like, 3 out of 18?
15.
You
Yo,
gotta 9 is 50%.
that sucks. Yo, you about to get a whooping. I was getting ready to tell him, like, man, she gonna beat your ass. I'm putting pepper on my macaroni like, boy, you lucky. But anyway,
My bad.
so she does that because that's her gift is patience. She's so patient. After she said that, she never raised her voice again. After she said 3 out of 18,
That was
he
it.
knew.
3 out of 18?
I knew. Everybody knew. And then she was like, listen, when you do these assignments, make sure that you follow the instructions, read, make sure you understand what you're doing. And she broke it all down.
I need more of that, man. Patience, man.
I am trying to practice that.
Yeah.
Practice patience,
You
right?
have to.
Because if it was me, all I see is 3 out of 18. Before I can even calculate how many percents he got, I'm already mad. I'm already laying into him, telling him, go to bed, and you're going to wake up in the morning, and you're going to practice. And
TV,
I go right to discipline.
Yeah.
She goes right to nurturing. And that's a gift that she has. I need to do more nurturing and less disciplining.
Right.
That way I get positive results. But I always come out and try to fix the conflict versus like resolve it. You know what I'm saying?
This is where I wish I could relate to y'all a little bit more because I don't have a son. So I know the dynamic is totally different. Like the way you just said about your daughter, that's me. I'm the nurturer immediately if something happens with Ava. It's other people's problem. It's not hers.
Never with my daughter.
You know what I'm saying? It's no reason.
I've never with my daughter.
You shouldn't have to either.
Yeah.
Never.
No, you shouldn't have to.
Your voice is enough.
Yeah.
My son, he got 2 like tremendous whoopings. Like, rah!
How do you feel after that?
I felt terrible.
Yeah.
After I whooped my son, I hugged him and he cried. He stole something from the school and lied about stealing it.
Oh, damn. You did too negative.
Even worse, it was food. He was in the breakfast line and stole like a pack of like graham cracker cookies or something.
Man.
And the lunch lady seen him get one because he's supposed to get one, but she seen him get another one and put it in his hoodie pocket. She said, "Benjamin, did you get 2?" He said, "No, I just got 1." She went in his hoodie, pulled out the second one. Of course, my wife was at the school feeding my daughter breakfast.
Damn.
And so my wife came over, and that was the whole scene. She told me about it, and man, I showed up at the house. Checked him out of school, and we got right to it in the living room.
Damn.
I gave him 7 licks, and it was like thunderous licks. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't be
With
lying,
the belt.
they'll steal, yeah.
With the belt, too. I whooped him with a belt. And after that, he got himself together, and he came out, and I said, "Come here, son." And we did like a group hug. It was me and my wife, and then he came over to us, and I hugged all 3 of us. We all hugged, and he broke down crying in the thing. He didn't say nothing else. I have to finish the story. He didn't say anything else. So after that, my wife went to work, and I took my son to work with me to the barbershop because I wanted everybody to know that my son is a liar and a thief, right?
Damn.
I'm a shaming, right? So we come up here, and I'm a good father. I try to teach a lesson. So we go into Leviticus, and we looking at the law in the Bible, and I'm trying to teach him about lying and stealing. And the Bible says the only way to right those wrongs is to, if you lie to somebody, you have to tell the truth. That's the only way to fix a lie. If you steal something, you have to replace it, put it back. That's the only way to fix stealing. So after I showed him that, after I shamed him in front of the barbershop, "Hey, y'all, guess what Ben did?" Tell him, "Ben, I lied, I stole. Would you steal food? They gave you free breakfast and you stole some more?" Yup, shame on him, right?
Yeah.
This is what happened. I have to tell the story, Daryl. I'm thirsty. O Sharp is thirsty. Waters cost 99 cents at Family Dollars. I give him $1. O Sharp gives him $1. We send him to the dollar store for 2 waters. Two waters.
2 cents back.
Expecting 2 cents back, right? He's supposed to come back with 2 waters, 2 cents. He comes back with a 24-pack of bottled waters. He can't even open up the door. I get the door. "Boy, get in here. I told you to get 2 waters. He put the 24-pack down and gave me $2. So I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, this 24-pack costs at least $3 and some change. You giving me back $2 means you didn't even spend the money I gave you. What happened? He was in line, got some water, and somebody paid for it. He got the wrong waters and went and got the pack and tried to pay for it with $2, and he was short. Somebody in line blessed him and told him to keep his money and bought 24 waters. So he came back and was just handing out waters to all the people in the place. It was summertime. He was thirsty. So it's like, it all happened, and I sat him down and explained the lesson to him. We just went over it in the book. The only way to right the wrong is to tell the truth and replace what you stole. And he truly was sorry because he cried after the whooping. Like after he got himself back together, he hugged us and cried some more. So I know he was
still hurt.
He was right. Yeah, I got him good.
Right.
Well, I think I had a Calvin Klein belt. Yeah, something good. But he was truly sorry. I know he was. And he was shamed in the barbershop. Everybody was calling sticky fingers now. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to show him, like, look, Ben, see how blessed you are? Even after you do something like lying and stealing, you get blessed by somebody to where you able to bless at least 24 people.
Man, that's a story in the Bible. I ain't heard it, man.
Jeez. So we always think about that. To this day, anytime we talk, I'm like, remember you was stealing? Remember, you got blessed. That's how God works in your life.
Yeah.
Especially when you did not mean. He just wanted some more cookies.
Right.
It was simple. It was small, but the fact that you did it. And so, I forgot what the question was, Daryl. But
I mean, I see the lesson within it because you were showing how. I mean, it even goes back to when we were talking about drinking and having weed. Like, even though we did something bad, we're not going to not be good enough for God to bless us.
Right. Exactly.
And even though, like, you were talking about how you handle conflict, how you handle conflict with your son, with your family, and how you're the first or second line of defense.
Word.
That's where the base of that.
I only whooped him twice, and that was the second one. That's the last time I whooped my son.
That lesson is still good for us to hear and for him to go through. I mean, unfortunately, he had to get his ass whooped, but
got him good.
He's not going to forget it.
Right.
And that's where you're going to not forget it either. And it does affect parents more than the kids sometimes. As much as we always heard, it's going to hurt me,
more than
hurt you. I understand it a little bit. Yeah. Like, I understand that. It would hurt the hell out of me if I had to whoop my daughter. If I was to that point where I had to whoop my daughter.
It crushed me.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your little baby to have to deal with that stuff. So, moving on with the conflict, just so we can make sure we don't be here too long. I wanted to discuss how we handle conflicts with our kids if they were being bullied or if they were the bullies. How do you think that we would handle those things? I'll start with you, Norton, so you want to answer after Jay.
So,
I know you don't.
Man, handling bullies or
if he was the bully,
man, that's a whole nother scenario, man. Because I feel like most bullies are scared. They're just bigger than other people.
Wow.
Like a lot of bullies I know, they were just bigger. Not that they were smarter or stronger. They were just bigger than other people, and so they intimidated kids with that. So my son, he's not gonna be that big of a bully. He could be verbally like a bully, like saying certain things, certain smart comments and things like that. But as far as him being a bully, I would shut that shit down so fast, man. But I don't know exactly how I would do it right now. But him being labeled a bully, I don't know, man. That's a tough question. But him getting bullied,
how would you handle that conflict?
Him being bullied?
Yes.
That's one of the things like, hey, I'm going to meet you at the school. You point out the person that's been bullying you. Let's go have a conversation with him, the teacher, and you to see what's going on. Like, I remember the story, the one kid that was bullying this dude's son, and the kid pretty much was bullying this kid because they kept talking about him and his shoes. So the dad went and, like, bought the kid some shoes, and that changed this kid's life. So it could be something going on in somebody's life where he's bullying other people because he's being talked about, but maybe he don't have enough money to buy shoes or he don't have food to eat.
Remember that scenario with Trek?
Yeah,
Trek was a teacher and said that the kid in the class was getting bullied so much that he bought the kid some shoes as well.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, man, this kid was getting tore up every day.
Yeah.
So he bought him some fly shoes.
Fly shoes. And
like some Air Maxes or something.
Life.
Right.
Changed his whole swag.
Yeah. There's always a root cause.
Oh, yeah.
We're too young to figure it out. We don't know how to handle conflict when we're kids, but like, as we're thinkers now, as we're more mature,
right,
we can look at a kid and try to figure out if we be around him enough, like, oh, your daddy don't be around, or your mama needs some help with some things, or y'all just got evicted, or something like that. Like,
it's definitely a root to it.
Like,
it has to be.
There's something that's going on.
I don't think too many kids are just trying to be bullies unless they have that in their household. Like maybe their dad is abusive.
It's not nature.
No, that's
nature
a learned behavior.
Nature isn't bullying.
Yeah, that's
nature
a learned behavior.
is to love, and that hate, that bullying, that's learned behavior.
Yeah, I mean, think about kids when they're younger, man. My son has one of his closest friends is a little Asian kid, man, and when you grow up, you don't see the color, you don't see the ethnicity. You see, this is my friend. He likes to play how I like to play. When we learn how to be, how kids be racist and how to be, hateful and spiteful and stuff like that. So bullying, it could be something where I need to talk to the teacher first to see, all right, what's going on? Like, what's going on with this kid? What do you know? Right. Maybe I can reach out to the parent and try to resolve whatever I can resolve. But I need to know who this kid is, though. I'm showing up to the school for sure. Oh, for sure.
I need they kid and they parent to show up for this conversation.
Yeah, and I need to know what's going on.
Yeah,
my wife already said I'd beat a kid ass, but I can't. She already on it. What's going on, especially in the play area, man? Y'all been to the play area in Chick-fil-A or like
at
Players?
I don't know, man. It's like those things ain't. My daughter's only 2. She's not 3 yet, so
Man,
she don't.
Wait till she get there, man. It ain't
These
safe,
big kids
man.
be in there.
Yeah.
Like we was at the we was at the mall when we was in Houston, and we let her play in a little play area, but she wanted me to walk around with it, which was really I was her defense.
Right.
Like them
She
kids
like,
wasn't
"This my daddy."
them
Yeah,
kids
like-
wasn't really messing with it. But I saw them jumping and pushing each other over and stuff like that, and then like moving each other off slides and then coming up the wrong way. It's like.
She's like, nah, let me bring my daddy. Just in
Yeah,
case.
it's just like I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready. I got another story. I'll keep it real quick. I don't know if I'm ready for my daughter to be in like team sports. I don't think I've talked about this on the show, but my goddaughter plays basketball. She hoops. She's been hooping for years, and the first basketball game I went to, it's co-ed league, boys and girls. Of course, that's what co-ed means. But there was a little boy that she was guarding. She was like Gary Payton on him.
Ooh.
And like had him stuck in a corner. And so he picked up his dribble. He can't dribble no more. She's like on him with her hands up as she should, blocking him from me in the pass. He's like trapped at the half court. So you know you're in that corner
You
right
have
there.
nowhere to go.
You stuck.
Yeah.
So dude's mother was like, elbow her to my
her.
goddaughter. This is the first game that I've ever been to.
A little boy.
And a little boy who's bigger than her, I'm like, that's not what you about to tell your son to do to my goddaughter. This is me saying this at this point to the mother. Like you're not about to tell him to elbow my goddaughter in the court, and we just about to be okay with that. She was like, he can elbow you, and I have my husband whoop your ass. Ooh. I'm like, what?
No, that's how it does. That's conflict.
I'm like,
how do you
what?
handle that conflict?
I'm like, and then like, so I'm like, nah, you tripping? Like, you're not about to start all this stuff for all these people. I don't remember what I said after that. I might have said a couple cuss words at this point.
Yeah.
But at this point,
I might have called a couple homies from the neighborhood.
but nah, and it was like she's like, who you yelling at, all these other things, because I'm like, you're not about to be starting all this stuff in front of all these kids. We have these kids playing basketball. They done did a timeout. Can they see the parents yelling? And then after that,
on TV looking crazy.
she come down, and then the moms whoop her ass.
Damn.
At the basketball game.
Beat her up?
Yes. Beat her up. She had to get taken to the side. All the kids had to get evacuated. The game didn't get finished.
Damn.
It's like,
Just
this is
told your son to elbow a little girl.
This is my goddaughter. Imagine me if that was my real daughter.
Right.
Boy.
And somebody say elbow Ava.
Nah, you
Like, what?
You might be a little bit.
Like, I don't know how I can handle conflict
That's
like
what I'm saying.
that.
I don't know
Like,
yet.
Ava's going to have to be like a golfer or a tennis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Someone by herself.
tap dance.
Yeah.
Like, something, because I don't know. Guy hasn't got me there yet. And I don't know how I will handle that, because I have a beautiful spirit, but I have a bad attitude.
Yeah.
And it's just my attitude. My attitude will really sometimes get the best of me when you're, and like, I have to get real protective mode. Like, yo, these are my people. You not imagine somebody say elbow your son. Imagine somebody say elbow Ruby. Like, at the
People gotta have more respect than that.
publicly, we're at Berwick basketball. I think we're at Berwick.
You should know being at Berwick.
I'm not from here, so I don't know. I know it looks like the hood, but I don't know for sure. But I'm like, oh,
It's a little sketchy, bro.
and I see this girl all the time now, and like, she says she will get her husband to whoop my ass, and he has not done it yet. So it's
you
like,
said that jokingly or like?
no, she said that. She said that while we were beefing.
No,
Like,
I thought you were saying like you seen her recently. Like, hey,
I see her all
I
the
still
time.
gonna get my husband
beat your ass.
Nah, she ain't
See
said
that Kroger?
Yeah,
My husband still gonna beat your ass.
she ain't said nothing to me, because I know she got her ass beat.
I
Like,
ain't seen the neck brace.
Nah, this is about 4 years ago, but it's like one of those things that just thought about it. Like, how do you handle conflict? How do you handle those things? Like,
And with that said, patience.
You can't overreact. You cannot.
You'll almost have to nurture the conflict. Like, you'll have to nurture it down back to something normal. You know how if you're cooking and your rice boil over, you have to
Turn it
reduce the
down,
heat.
yeah.
That's what you have to do.
you sit down though. Like, all right, you right. Okay.
Nah.
This
I
hold
got
on,
too
Lord.
much pride, man.
This is what I do.
I'm too petty.
Do you feel me?
I do.
Do you
I
feel
do.
me?
The old me would have been like, bitch, who you talking to? Like, yeah.
I was the old me at that point, so I might have said that. You know what I'm saying? So
you said, husband gonna beat your ass.
this was prior to Ava. Like,
I'm not even gonna. I was getting ready to tell you what you should have done. I ain't gonna front. As soon as she said that, I'd have walked to the trunk. Oh yeah, it's about to be some shit up in Berwick. I can't even front.
like, yo, Like,
If
honestly,
somebody said elbow my baby, I'm stretching, I'm getting ready.
you feel me?
Yeah, we about to
You want to
set it
elbow
up.
me first,
Yeah.
little boy.
We
You
about
know
to
what I'm
set it
saying?
up.
You gotta tell the elbow me first.
Like,
Hey, sir.
Right. Hey,
put me in, coach.
Hey, we get out. I'm going in. Ready, don't.
Hey, what you doing?
What's all that?
What's all it? Yeah. That's why I gotta get in the gym, and that's why I want to get in the gym, man. I gotta be ready to fight little niggas, man.
Gotta get a
These
gym
little
and a
niggas crazy.
CCW.
Yeah. Nigga, I gotta get swole to knock a little nigga out. And I gotta have my gun ready.
Damn.
Yeah, I gotta get ready.
I had nothing else to say, man. Like that took me back to that moment that I try to put in the back of my mind. But just think about conflict. That's the thing. What would you do if your kid was in these situations? How do you react to it the right way? Road rage.
Oh my god.
When it comes to sports, or what if they coach is yelling at them, or what if they teacher is showing favoritism and always like, how do you guys who are listening deal with the conflict when it comes to your family, your wife, your husband, your spouse, whatever, your kids?
To offer solution, I would say take it slow. Don't rush to anger. Don't be quick to go solve and fix something. Be slow. Just like how my wife was with Ben's 3 out of 18. She didn't jump all
3
over.
out of 18.
Damn.
She didn't jump all over. She slowed it down. This is what we're going to do. Go grab your assignment. We're going to look at it. Maybe you misunderstood the directions. She rationalized it. Where I would have just went straight ham.
Like, damn, are you slow, boy?
Damn, boy, I'm gonna ask your teacher to hold you back. And I'd have took it to the next level. And it always doesn't need to be taken to the next level. We can kind of keep it sometimes where we at. I would say, be slow to anger.
I need advice because I'm not always there yet. I know God is still working on me. It's still a construction zone around my life. But that's our show. That's conflict. Norm, welcome back again, man.
Yeah.
But Jay, thank you for the stories.
Yeah,
thank y'all for allowing me to vent a little bit because
We need this. Everybody needs this, man.
damn.
You know how long people been holding stuff in that they can't talk about?
These are one of those things where it's like I hate to talk about stuff like this because that usually is like a lesson that's going to come up.
Right.
Like, is there going to be conflict within the next 2 weeks?
Soon as you get home,
You gotta leave until we conflict with your wife.
Yeah.
Damn, you ain't
Nah,
cook nothing?
You're not about to. You're not about to say that. You're not about to sneak that.
Hey, you walking in the house and dinner ain't ready, boy, you gonna beat it with
Nah, I prevented that by eating before I got home. So I'm straight. But until next time, y'all, make sure y'all follow us and holla at us and give us your feedback.
Tell a friend and tell a friend. Listen up.
Fatherhood Fraternity Podcast, we out.